This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. How many times have you heard the phrase, make time for yourself? And how many times have you secretly thought, that's never going to happen? Therapy helps you carve time out of your busy schedule and make the most of it. Visit betterhelp.com/allies to try it out.
Hello, welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'm Daniel Bloodworth, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. This week I'm joined by Bradley Ellis.
Hello.
Michael Huber.
Yo, got a little headache.
Oh, man. Michael Damiani.
What's up?
And in the control room, making it all happen, we have Isla Hink,
Hey,
Don Casanova,
he's over there.
and Gabby's back there too, headless. There she is.
Oh, she's got a head.
Yeah, Mitch Saltzman was planning to be with us from IGN this week, but unfortunately he started feeling sick this morning, so he wasn't able to make it. But we'll get you back in here soon, Mitch. Also, this week is EasyX. This is our annual anniversary fundraiser party, all that good stuff. So we're filming during that event. If you are not aware somehow, we are an independent viewer-funded outlet, and we need your support to keep us going for the long haul, pay all the bills, do all the stuff. So we're going to take a couple of quick breaks this week to give shout-outs to the donations that are rolling in as we're live. If you're watching later, though, you can still contribute. There's a one-time donation link down there in that YouTube description that you can click on, or you can give via our Patreon, which is the more effective way to give, and it also gets you access to additional rewards. And we're also looking for new and returning patrons. So if you're not a patron right now, we are moving towards a 6,000 patron goal, which will unlock a new episode of Game Sleuth, courtesy of Mr. Damiani over there. And over time, just, people naturally, they have other things come up. They have finances change. They lose jobs. So it's really important to get the new blood in there. So please consider become a patron. All right. We're here to talk about the biggest headlines in video games this week. We finally got a decent look at gameplay in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. E3 is canceled as of this morning. And we can't call them the NPDs, but February sales numbers are in.
Nice.
But before we get started, we must answer for the mistakes we made in last week's episode. Isla, begin corrections music, please.
Boop.
Okay, so this one's a little in the weeds, as even language experts and dictionaries diverge on definitions. But if you want to be a stickler, as apparently Zach Wojnar does, HBO would not be considered an acronym, but instead an initialism.
Whoa.
An acronym is when you pronounce an abbreviation as a word,
Whoa.
such as scuba or radar or NASA.
This is awesome.
An initialism is when you read out the individual letters,
Like home box office.
like HBO or FBI or DVD.
Dude! I love that. I didn't know that distinction. That's really cool.
Yeah, I was not aware of that one either. Huber, you said that you could use the clip command to hide in containers on multiplayer maps. That would actually be the no clip command.
Ah.
The clipping is where you collide.
Oh, right. Counter-Strike. I forgot about that.
If you have a correction, leave it in the YouTube comments on either the Patreon version or the public version of this episode. Start with the word correction so I can bring it up in search, and leave a timestamp so I can go back and see what the heck we were talking about. End corrections music.
Boop.
All right, the big crazy news. It's been brewing for weeks, but it actually happened. E3 is canceled.
Oof.
Just straight up canceled.
But that's the biggest gaming convention in the world.
It was.
Yeah. What's crazy
It
too?
wasn't. Gamescom was.
Well, true. I mean, in terms of
For news, it was the biggest.
But what's crazy is the official email that I got is just titled E3 Show Status Update. It's so understated. But yeah, I mean, before I get into all the stuff, thoughts, just straight up. And he just straight off the cuff thoughts.
Yeah, it's just a bummer.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there'd be hope that it would come back, but it's not looking likely. This could be the final blow to E3. It kind of feels like that.
It could be. It's still not necessarily there, but it could be.
Blood, it's like Dracula in Castlevania. It dies and it comes back to life and it dies again. How many times do I gotta send this thing back to hell before it'll stay there? It's upsetting.
Oh, man.
That's the name of the episode. How many times do we have to send E3 back to hell?
Or Keeley specifically, I should say.
Right. So, yeah, sort of the lead up to all of this stuff. So earlier this week, well, actually, let me go back to last week, because last week, quite a few of us had this surreal experience of walking up to publishers and PR representatives and them asking us if we know about anyone going to
Asking
E3. And I'm like, what? Like literally getting stopped on the street, getting this question asked of me.
That's hilarious.
And being like,
anyone
we're not
knew, it would
sure
be
if we're
blood.
going to go. And I'm like, but now? Right now you're not sure
Yeah.
you're going to go.
Aren't you supposed to know very early?
Yeah.
Like last year?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like start making plans in like
Jeez.
November or December at the latest, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft said they would be there as long as there's an E3.
Well, here's the thing. Ubisoft said we will be there as long as there is an E3.
Yeah.
So which chicken or egg?
Great question, Glenn. Great question.
Did Ubisoft back out, or did they already know that it was dying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they
That's-
said that
yeah.
knowing it was over.
Maybe they
yeah.
looked around.
yeah.
Said, who's going? Anyone going?
It also sounded like some people who were on the coverage side we heard back, but like a lot of people apparently hadn't heard back about their badge status
Oh,
either.
interesting.
So maybe there was a point where they decided this probably isn't happening. Before we go forward to anything else, let's like confirm a few things. And I would guess it was E3 made this decision and just started like, going through like the procedures for that, and then like Ubisoft like, oh, we're not going anymore, and it's like, well, that's kind of like was the first tell, and then having the Reed Pop exec or CEO whatever like step down as well.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really related.
I don't know if that's related, but like the timing
It
of that,
seems,
like
yes,
it definitely
suspicious.
seems that. And then we got the report from IGN today, and then they put out a statement too. I mean, I know they sent
Right.
us an email since we got approved to go, which gave us that
Yeah.
update, which was weird. But that statement, I don't know if you have that handy, but.
I don't know if I've seen like a condensed statement. I have an interview with some quotes, but I don't know what
They tweeted out a statement, but it said something about like the summer timing and having demos ready or something was like
Oh,
tough.
okay.
Yeah.
They just sort of allude to a little bit of that. Yeah.
But then we see Ubisoft doing an event anyway.
Right.
Like, can someone confirm? Did Microsoft actually say they're doing something 100% on their own?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's an event
I'm
happening.
starting to
on
like get stuff like
that Sunday
wires
or
crossed.
whatever
I'm like sure it's
that
not
would
like
have been before
hearsay.
E3.
Yeah.
Okay. So like we have like two pretty big companies confirmed to be doing their own thing, and it's like. I feel like it's not the demo problem. It's
Yeah,
probably,
that's what I
That's just like a
think.
nice excuse they made up.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Yeah. So we had that stuff that we had seen at GDC. Then like IGN had been told earlier this week that like Sega and Tencent weren't gonna be there. I don't even remember where they came from, but we started. We were hearing rumors that Square Enix wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Bandai Namco wouldn't be
Like,
there.
let's just be fair. There are literally like a lot of like gaming discords out there. A bunch of them were like just straight up saying like I'm hearing it like this company's not like literally every company under the sun was being said they're not going, and it's like wait what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like
Devolver said they weren't even going to be in the parking lot,
Yeah.
which I don't know how serious of a tweet that was for those guys, but yeah, it's been a wild, crazy week.
Yeah. It's sad blood, but also I'm just kind of relieved I know it's not happening.
Sure.
At least this far out, like not far out typically. But we know it at least now. At least we're not being kept in the dark, I guess. It's official, but like, going to E3 and the Prime was so cool. Getting to play a bunch of games. Everyone was celebrating, but now I think war's changed, man.
yeah.
We got Keeley.
I I saw people like lamenting like the loss of the networking. I think
Yeah,
you can
right.
speak to that too, Bloodworth. That's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Being gone.
Yeah, especially because like there is much more of a global stake in it, where it's like you do get a lot of people at GDC, and I saw a lot of people at GDC, but I feel like in particular you don't see quite as many like Japanese devs at GDC, like unless they're going to be doing a talk, but yeah, I think just like that back and forth is a little bit different, because people are going around checking out all the other booths and stuff at the show floor at E3.
Also, while journalists, media get like free access to GDC and E3 as well, I feel like more people would rather like previously when E3 was big was willing to spend money to be at E3. So yeah, you just had more people at E3, so it's just like easier to like network with them. Also, not everyone was gonna like travel to just for GDC for like that event. Like if you could travel internationally, E3 might have been the event to go to. It sounded like, GDC is also very expensive if you don't get comp for that. So whereas E3, I mean, you can just get a badge and go. You don't have to have a booth. Like you can just walk around with like a laptop or something and meet with people. Like that was the thing. Like you had all those opportunities and all the surrounding area.
That definitely got harder the last 2 years with the public showing. I did some laptops on stairs outside because they couldn't bring them into the building anymore.
That's the other thing. Like the changes they made, like there were a lot of things like it was going in the wrong direction.
Yep.
I mean, I honestly don't care if the like name E3 doesn't come back and there's no event called E3. But if all the publishers, at least the biggest ones, were still going to do their own individual things, but like in a week period, that you essentially could call it in spirit. Oh, it's E3, but like week, but like no one's doing like all the shows together. You gotta like you have to be invited to all of them.
Right.
I'd be fine with that too, because for me, E3 was at its best when you had a lot of access as a journalist or media outlet being able to cover it. When it got harder and harder to do that, it became I don't know, like less fun. It wasn't as like enjoyable to go to it anymore when you're fighting against so many things that were working against you, and it got out of control, honestly.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say though is like we don't know exactly what Jeff has planned this year.
We have no idea.
But like the Summer Game Fest play days last year, it was very interesting because it was such a small event, but it still had those sort of old school E3 vibes where it's like everybody's just here in the same room. Like you don't have to like cross the halls. You usually like look across the room and it's like, oh hey, there's Blessing. Oh hey, there's Andrea Renee. It's like, oh hey, there's somebody I've never actually met in person before from a PR company or from Capcom or whatever. It's just and so I do worry about how that can scale up.
Yeah, that's good.
Without becoming the same monster that the E3 was.
Exactly.
But I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
Well, because also didn't Keeley last year, like after Game Awards or after his summer thing, say that they were doing an in-person thing?
Yeah, but I think that what that basically goes to is the event now, like where he's basically doing the Game Awards without Game Awards.
Yeah.
Because you can open up or you can buy tickets to that thing. So
Was it Opening Night Live? Is that what it is?
That's Gamescom.
Oh, Gamescom.
That's like
yeah,
it's kickoff.
Yeah,
It's Summer Games Fest kickoff. Is the name of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
But I mean, sure, there's opportunities there for it to potentially scale if they have another like in-person thing. Yeah, I guess like the question is, is that just always going to like? Will every publisher want to like keep going at year after year? Will even that be something like my worry now is that as much as I like working with Jeff, the more and more these companies are doing their own events, especially if they get together doing it on their own time during the summer. They really like maybe they'll be interested in giving Jeff like a trailer, but like the demo part, like having those playable demos, that seems like that's one of the biggest obstacles for a lot of companies. Like they don't like to spend a lot of time putting together demos when it doesn't fit into their natural development cycle. We've heard so many stories from developers in the past that E3 would be, this is not a great time for us to have to do this, but we have to, have the team work on this, and like it led to crunch.
But I think in a way that's why the smaller scale business only thing worked, because there's a whole other different level of, presentation that you have to put on to something when it's completely public and people are standing in line to play. And then the other side of the small scale is you're not going to bring 12 titles to the show. Capcom brought Street Fighter, like Sega brought Sonic, and a lot of these other games, and it was like, or like they had like the like indie stuff, like the Day of the Dev stuff, and it's like you just round robin kind of thing. It's like you just jumped from like one indie developer to another, and they showed you their game as it was, and and it was, and they had like a lot of the expenses kind of like. Jeff handled that with like sponsorships, Samsung was showing off the streaming stuff in the Game Hub, and so like basically like Samsung just provided the TVs, and so like everybody had like the same exact kind of station. It wasn't this big like war of the booths like E3 was, where it's like, okay, we got Mr. Chi over here and we got Tony Hawk over here, and and we're gonna like pump up the volume and blast each other out. It was. Yeah, it was intimate in a lot of different ways.
Sure, straight to business kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it continuing to do well for like third parties. I just don't think he's ever going to be able to get Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo to be involved in it.
Yeah,
like I don't think they're ever going to be involved
for sure. Like Xbox's involvement was to like put an ID at Xbox sticker on Escape Academy.
Which is, sure, yeah, that's the extent. I mean, I could still see, maybe not Nintendo, but like if Sony and Microsoft still maybe did like a press day, something like that. I could see some of those games also appearing at that as well.
Right.
And then that could be like another way, like you have bring back like having those multiple demos where you have like one demo there, or maybe just a second chance to play it. Like if you just want an extra chance, but. While that's all good, I think for us getting like if that access doesn't go away, where we still get the ability to go play some demos in a condensed time, like over a week or a few days, that's still pretty good. But it is still a bit of a bummer losing what E3 used to be. And everyone will have like their own idea about when E3 went downhill or when was the last good E3. But the last E3 that had everyone pretty much there from the big three's perspective was 2018, because Sony dipped out in 2019.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
So 2018 was the last.
Taking that photo of that empty space.
Yeah. So that was the last time it felt like a big deal, honestly. But for me, like 2016, 2017 were like last time it felt really good. I mean, we had all this, like 2016 had like Zelda there, giant lights for Zelda. I mean, Sony, Microsoft, all their stuff, and like same thing with 2017 because like Odyssey was there.
Yep.
I missed that stuff, and then Smash was the year after. It's kind of a bummer to lose that. And if they're not going to do anything else similar, it's great to get news and information from a direct, but and it's good to see like gameplay, like we're going to talk about later from that. But you really don't know how, like you don't get the impressions, and we do lose that. And to be a little bit more, kind of like level-headed about looking about this, because everyone loves like these directs, these presentations, like there's a lot of people like that. You're still only getting. It's a mouthpiece. You're only getting the information from one side. You're getting it from the publishers. There is no filter anymore. It's just what they say, and then everyone runs with reactions. You don't have that layer where journalists and media go play the game and be like, this is what they told you. I played it. This is how I feel about it. And that layer seems to be, like, other than Summer Game Fest, that's starting to erode a bit, I feel like. There's still one-off publisher events, obviously, but I feel like the amount of those has been obviously pandemic factored into this, but I worry that that's starting to diminish.
Right.
And we have less of that. And the best thing about E3 was, for me, was all the announcements being condensed, but also having tons of people going to play. So you had countless videos of a game to go through. Like, oh, someone like, no one's going to be able to see all of a demo in one playthrough, but maybe this outlet did this part of it. I get to see that. Like, we always talked about the Zelda story at E3, how like all of us went a different direction on the Great Plateau for Breath of the Wild to see what we could do. And then we came back and compared. Like that sucks that's kind of gone, and that probably will not come back.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's just that sort of like that concentrated, like heightened focus, of having those big press conferences, those big productions, those big moments, that everybody is tuned in, and I saw people like Wout, the hashtagonist, just talking about like how those smaller companies benefit from that because it's like you're there already. So since you're going to have to fill out your schedule, then you're going to go and see stuff from Big Ben Interactive or whatever they're called now,
Yeah.
or Play On or the Kepler Group and all of that because you're there. So why not check out these other games on the side as well?
Another thing about Summer Game Fest is like a concern I would have going forward if it's like if E3 is going to be gone, not coming back, and there will be nothing to replace it other than that. Just access. We talked already about how scaling. It can't get too big again. Like, that'd be a problem. But not having a way to like kind of like apply, where it is just as from what I understand, they just like send out the invites. And you really don't have a way to like reach out as far as I understand. Like there's no website that says I'd like to apply to be media for Summer Game Fest. At least E3 had that. Even if it didn't always get approved, there was like a way, and sometimes that could be viewed as being a little too.
You already have to kind of know the right people.
It's a little too selective, and that was led to like issues in the past, or at least accusations of issues in the past. A lot of those weren't always founded, but it gave that perception. It was like an optical problem where we needed like more people to go. I always felt with
what's interesting about saying that, from the person that has to handle the contacts and the registration side of things, is I feel like E3 was so much more opaque in the past, and it was, and this year with ReadPop handling it, it was so much better.
Yeah.
Because in the past, it was just a faceless web form. You put your stuff onto the internet, and it went to who knows who. And if you had issues with it, you didn't know who to talk to. Whereas with the way E3 would have been this year and the way Summer Game Fest has been, these are people that already know us. These are people that we don't have to prove ourselves to with some weird metric and figuring out which metric makes the most sense or anything like that. And so it's like I can just talk to them and figure out, what do we need to do and what do you need from us? And because those relationships are already there, and also because there's a person, even if you don't have those relationships, you can start to form those relationships, which you can't just do with the anonymous web form and the anonymous reply where they don't even tell you who's talking to you. And if you reply back to them, you might get a different person the next day. And so you just kind of like rolling the dice on whether you can make any headway.
Yeah,
that's the old E3 was just terrible.
I remember the first E3s I applied to, like, easily got in.
Yeah.
It's like, and then I think over time it got like harder to get in. Then they started introducing like Alexa or whatever their internal like site ranking metrics were. If you didn't place within a certain 100,000 or top 80,000 sites, they were like, sorry, you got rejected. Until the last years it was in person, we were getting like rejected at Easy Allies. They're like, you can only get this and the dumb wristband shit that we like talked about.
Right.
Yeah. But like to go like back to E3, I feel like even if you're like a student and you're running your own site by yourself, if you were there legitimately to try and provide coverage and give a different voice to that coverage, I felt you had every right to be there.
Yeah.
Where I got like annoyed was when I'd see random GameStop employee who would be there. Not even like when the public going there was like, they didn't have a great solution for that, and that made things horrible. But people who got in through other, workarounds. It's like if you're a GameStop manager or regional manager, you need to be there like to talk with people about like what's coming out in the next calendar, which they already have an event in Vegas for that every year. That they used to have leaks coming out that. But yeah, random GameStop employee going there just to play all the games, get around all the free stuff, and be like, go tell all their friends, yo, I got to go to E3. I mean, that's cool for them, but obviously they really didn't have a business being there. So that's striking a balance like that. And then I understand why Summer Game Fest goes in the other direction where it's like we know everybody, like we can vet everybody here, but I feel bad for someone new trying to get in. It's like, how do they even do that? Do they have to start like networking with people like that? There needs to be like some kind of middle ground where it's not applying to a faceless thing. It's like applying and someone there does their due diligence and looks at them, maybe like calls them, interviews them, like, hey, like talk to me about like what's your site, like
right.
Just spend. I know that costs money and time, but that's probably the right way to do it, honestly. And you just be honest. If you like hit a cap, it's like we just don't have any more space. Try again next year. Hopefully we can make it work next time. I just don't like it when people don't know what to do. Period. It's like you either had to be in or like how did you get in the first place, and if you're an out, like how do I get in that circle? it's a little frustrating. I feel like.
For sure.
Chat was talking about how much of this is due to COVID, and I think that the decline had begun, like for the reasons we've talked about, like the exorbitant costs, the weird timing in the year. But I think COVID and like the move toward everything being direct style, like internet style, as Damiani said, like mouthpiece style, almost advertiser style stuff. But like COVID, I think, was like the killing blow too.
Yeah.
And like even GDC, like a lot of people are getting sick out of there. And then like the other thing I was thinking about is, and this has been true for 3 or 4 years now, but like for a company like ours, E3 was a huge tentpole event. Like it made us money because we would like get a bunch of views. We would have a big week of streaming and reactions and commentary and stuff. And like the ripple effects of it going away like this are really a bummer.
Yeah. So actually what's interesting is that kind of segues a little bit into an interview that gamesindustry.biz did today with the ESA and GI. They're owned by ReedPop. So it's kind of interesting. It's like they get like instant access to the ESA. But yeah, so they were talking a lot about the economic headwinds and just like what you were saying about things changing before the pandemic, but then like really being dramatically altered after it. And it says, I think largely that these factors of game development, timeline, and economic headwinds were very difficult to surmount in these times. Like I said, it's a significant investment for companies not only to put on the digital shows that they would do at E3 and the announcements, but also bringing that human capital to bring things to life and to network. It's a very different kind of investment than some of the other platforms they have been using and experimenting with throughout the pandemic. We're seeing other shows coming back slowly, but coming back. They're at a different scale and investment commitment than E3, so we have to continue to work on how we create a dynamic and sustainable model that meets the needs of the industry. It was a convening and people came because it was the place to be. We want to make sure we provide that opportunity for industry moving forward, both the marketing aspect, but also the convening at such a large scale. So just talking about, like finding the right balance and everything there. The thing that to me, like...
Shout out several people in chat, like 5 or 10 people have said that they're here because they saw us during E3.
Right, right, yeah. And they were actually at the very end of the interview, point blank, is the plan for E3 to return in 2024? We're committed to providing an industry platform for marketing and convening, but we want to make sure we find that right balance that meets the needs of the industry. We're certainly going to be listening and ensuring whatever we want to offer meets those needs, and at that time, we will have more news to share. So yes, no.
Nothing.
I mean,
but I think here's the thing. I think they made the mistake of essentially like we can't miss a year.
Oh, instead of saying take the time to like,
I think that they changing organizers and all of that. They should have waited till next year to bring it back correctly, because I feel like this whole time, like with the Nintendo and all the stuff we heard about earlier in the year, that it was just like they weren't booking when people needed to be booking.
Well, it seemed rushed, and it also seemed like it was playing catch up, because like I don't know how much this is really the case, but like it almost felt like they were like walking behind Jeff, like trying to sweep up the scraps or something, because like I wonder if,
or they're afraid if he was going to get too far ahead of them in the absence.
Because like if I'm a company, let alone the big three, but like even a medium level company that has a game, and I've committed to Keeley's thing, Keith Reilly or whatever, and then E3 comes up 2 months later and is like, hey, you want to do a thing a week later? You're going to be like, well, I'm showing my one trailer at Keeley's thing. Like, what am I going to do for you, It's just, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, well, I think that may be part of their issue too, is that they are trying to glom onto the digital side of things, and we saw that did not work.
That was ugly.
When they've
that
done
website.
that. And they were trying to do that this year too.
I remember Don and I did a carpet review of the booths at E3 on their website that year. Pretty fun.
So I think that like the two could coexist in a way if E3 just focuses on being E3 and not trying to be a digital event, and then it's like, okay, you've got the Keeley announcements, you've got the individual first party press conference announcements. You've got Keeley doing a private event, for business, and then E3 is like the big show floor,
come and
with
play,
a lot more
actually.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know if there's really a future for E3, like that big ambiguity there is like, they need to regroup and kind of like figure some stuff out. But I mean, there are other like kind of events that I wonder if there's something else besides Summer Game Fest. I don't think Summer Game Fest is ever going to get big enough to be a replacement for E3. But you still have PAX happening.
Yeah, PAX is doing well.
PAX East and doing very well. And you have other, the other international events like Gamescom, still have Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
But even within the US, like there's like you were talking about conventions slowly coming back. Like some of the bigger ones like Anime Expo came back, and I mean I don't know how well they're doing since they've come back, but I did see a lot of people went to them. Like they have like huge crowds.
Yeah.
Like San Diego Comic-Con came back, is coming back again this year. I wonder if there isn't a way to really get all the companies come together in terms of like a press like industry event. Maybe the way forward is just like a strict public event, and like either like ramping up like one of the PAX events, or maybe like working with like I don't know, like Anime Expo seems to have a lot of crossover video games. San Diego Comic-Con seems like the biggest one. But San Diego Comic-Con changed from being like very little like known or just like this thing about comics to becoming a pop culture convention. I mean, got a little too big, same problem. But maybe that's something it needs to be. Maybe it needs to be something that's like more than just like games to like convince people to come. And as you said, maybe just bringing like one game. You don't need to show like your whole year's worth of games. Like Nintendo, you're coming, just bring one game for people to play. Like Sony, bring one game. You don't have to like do that. And people like the panels. The other thing that I was kind of excited about with E3 was the panels. Like that prospect of like getting access to developers like in a group area where they give you like a presentation. You get those anecdotal stories of behind the scenes looks. Like you get that at GDC, but I was also looking for that to be a little bit more public facing.
I think the nature of a public facing panel would be completely different. Like GDC gets in the week. Like I was telling Huber, like technical. I got screenshots of code and like breakdowns.
Those get some technical sometimes.
And all this stuff.
Oh yeah. But like something like I tell Huber, I tell you about like the cool panels they do at San Diego Comic-Con. It's like just giving fans access to the developers. Even if it's not a Q&A, it's just like they're in the same room as them, getting to see these people. And like that's what the E3 press conference were. Yeah, you got the great announcements, but like you were with like other fans, you were with the creators, and like that's gone. You like E3 wasn't even going to fix that pretty much. Like maybe if Microsoft had still done a live thing, but everyone was like moving away from it. I don't think press conferences are ever going to be that again. Panels would be that. I think that's something I was looking forward to about this E3 because they had unprecedented access because of the ESA to all these developers. Like even if you're not going to show off a game, like maybe if a game came out, like it would have been sick if the Zelda team showed up. Like we have like a Tears of the Kingdom post-mortem panel at E3 where we're going to sit down and like talk about it and like maybe take some questions. Like that's like freaking awesome. Like you don't have to bring a new big game to E3 then. Just like do something like that and do the coverage about that. And I lament that that is not going to be there, but I still think there are other opportunities for that. And yeah, I don't know if Jeff ever has an idea about like doing that, but it'd be nice to see him.
Yeah, I don't feel like that
doesn't seem to be his thing, his wheelhouse. Yeah. So it really like PAX seems the place to do that.
Well, it feels like the E3 niche that wasn't being filled by your GDCs, your PAXs. It was just like that big time where huge announcements happen, where it's like just the place where all eyes are on it so we can announce things and it's basically huge ads or whatever. And like Keeley's thing is kind of filling that niche and like the show floor almost seems superfluous to that. Like GDC and PAX kind of fill that. Obviously Gamescom really does. It's weird. It just feels like...
But the difference being that I think that's part of the problem of E3 going public is, like you're saying, is now that we have PAX,
we don't need
E3
it.
becomes another PAX if it's public.
And it felt like E3 was just just here because it's the legacy play, and it's
yeah.
like we don't need it anymore.
I don't even think like the time of year is good for it either.
No.
I don't think that time of June is great. Like spring and fall seem to be like the sweet spots for the year. Spring, maybe you catch like the companies when they're
it got moved around after like 2007. It used to be in May.
Yeah, it used to be in May.
I feel like September would be.
Yeah.
Or I guess that's when games start coming out. But
It's either
Gamescom is late August.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's already there, but like if you did it towards the end of the year, at least to get like the big holiday titles present there. Maybe if we already know about them, it's just another chance to maybe play them. Or at the beginning of the year, it's more announcement heavy, where it's like here's our year of games that we're like kind of planning to do out, but to release. But the thing is, I don't think there really is a way to get everyone to come back together and do like a condensed one day of announcements. Because if you look at every other industry, everyone does do their own event and has always done their own event. There's no like movie day where every like studio comes out and announces everything. Like Comic-Con, you get a few announcements there, but like Disney does like...
Well, this stuff used to be so much more low-key.
Marvel does like its own event.
It's just a matter of everything ramping up over time.
Yeah.
Because the Nintendo press conference... It didn't used to be like this big, huge stage and lighting and everything. It was just like, we were in the basement of a hotel, dude. Like that was it. And there was nobody there except for press with notebooks and cameras. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a very good point. There's great videos on YouTube you could watch to see the history of the evolution. Like some of you can watch old game announcements. They're like, where is that? It looks like just like a little ballroom or something with like a little like projector screen. It's not even like high tech, and it's like that's how it was. But yeah, I think it was seeing how everyone else does this. It's just how it's going to be, where each company is going to do their own event. The thing I would like to have, where we seem to have a little bit more consistency, is it feels like every year it's kind of like scheduled for other companies, like Apple's going to do a big fall event or spring event. Like it'd be cool if Nintendo, like they kind of are doing it, where it's like here's our February, March direct, and then here's our September fall direct. Like if they were just be like that's how we're going to do it from now on, that's great, because then you could plan around it. It's like the guessing game where when's place, like is Sony even going to do a big event like a big announcement event this year? I mean, I get it. Not every year you have something to announce, but the loss of that, because I don't think there's ever a way.
Or if Sony brought a PSX back, and really made that to be a bigger thing.
This is the dream. The dream is that the big three do their own event and have like a press. Like PSX comes back, maybe December is where Sony likes to do it. Every December, like we're going to do one in December or around that time every year. Nintendo's like, we like spring. And so we're going to do like, Space World or Nintendo, whatever the last one was called, where it wasn't called Space World. And then like Microsoft does their own thing. Maybe they do like June. Maybe actually we do like the summer. We do that. If we could just get something like that to look forward to, it's the not looking forward to something. And to me, Summer Game Fest really hasn't been big enough for that. It doesn't, because it doesn't have Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo participating. And while third parties obviously deliver huge games like Capcom, you just do a Capcom event, man, that'll be hype as crap. I'd be like ecstatic for that.
But the funny thing though that you say now, because unless Microsoft somehow cancels their thing that they've already announced, like now Summer Game Fest sort of owns that Xbox conference in a way. Like in terms of bringing it like an umbrella kind of thing. It's like, okay, Summer Game Fest is going to be on that Thursday or whatever, and then Xbox is going to be on Sunday, and it sort of feels like it's all part of the same thing. Yeah,
they got Microsoft, and they got pretty much Ubisoft in that window too, because they're Monday, I believe. So yeah, that's very true. I mean, the dream was to have like a day for every like big publisher, like Microsoft, Bethesda, they go Sunday. Sony goes Monday. Nintendo goes Tuesday. Capcom goes Wednesday, or like Capcom, Bandai Namco, Square Enix go Wednesday. Like that's, man, I miss that. I do miss that.
I do
so
too.
much.
I just don't think they want to share the spotlight with each other as much either now.
That's why I say we're never going to get that again, because they want. I think they do like their spacing. I think they don't like being too close to each other with their announcements.
Well, because it's like thinking back to how it started, how the press conference were half business stuff. It was like a shareholder meeting almost sometimes.
Oh yeah, PlayStation 2 sales numbers. 3 years later after the PS3 is out.
As E3 and press conferences and stuff became more and more sensationalized and more like an ad, they finally just realized cut out all the middle people and just make them ads. Like we can just put out a video whenever we want, spaced out from everybody else. We don't have to spend $40,000 on a booth, you know. It's just an ad.
Yeah.
It's an announcement ad.
$599 US dollars.
Going back real quick to the like doing stuff maybe for for fans or for the public. Something like I wish. I mean, they can do it at any time, but like the 2 times we got it. Remember 2015, the Nintendo World Championships came back.
Oh, right.
And they like did that like right before E3. They did like a Smash tournament 1 year before that.
Yeah, they had a couple of years that they did that. Yeah,
they didn't move those. Wasn't the 2017 one done around like PAX or something?
No, there were still ones that were around E3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember like there was a Mario Maker one or whatever.
But fun stuff like that. Like I wish those could be more consistent because I'd rather have something if it's not meant for us, but it's meant for like the consumer and for like the public and fans.
PSX, dude.
Yeah, I'd rather them still do something like that because then the industry still feels special. Honestly, it feels like it's lost a little bit of that, you know, kind of that glimmer. Like it doesn't feel as.
It feels like we lived through a time that is dying. Like the age of man is over. Like the age of E3 is over. You know,
feels
the age of the con.
Yeah, but I think that's
so
part of it
procedural.
is because what you're saying because again, like a public thing, like those are games that are like okay, these are like rock solid. Whereas the magic of E3 was you could announce something like, and then we would know like we're gonna go down and play that the next day. You know.
Well, for us.
Yeah, but I mean, but even for people watching, and it's like, I can't wait to get the gameplay footage or the impressions and stuff back. You know, when they come back in, or or like IGN and GameSpot having their booths on the floor with developers coming by and all of that craziness. There was just like it was like the press conferences were the kickoff, and then like you just had all of this stuff flowing out.
Like the trade-off has been like, but for all that we would get like goofy ass like cam shots and stuff. Like it was fun. It was very like person on the ground type thing. Whereas every event like in the last like 5 years, that's like a publisher event, it feels very sterile. Very like controlled, like there's no half the time there's like not any excitement about it. It's like so matter of fact.
Right.
Like I don't know. There's something about like the kind of like the not necessarily the tension, but like maybe like the stress of E3
does not have
added a little bit.
The risk of announcing God of War for the first time with a gameplay demo.
It felt a little bit like a game at E3 because you only had so much time. You had a time limit, so it's like you're trying to get and see as much stuff, and like you come back, it's like, what did I get? What's my collection? Like Halloween candy. Let me dump it out, dude. Yeah, it's like what'd you get? It's like you can't compare that or anything anymore because everyone gets like the same demo, all the same capture units. Like, but the trade-off is we get like better quality videos now. Like like that's maybe the cost of that as we trade some of the fun away for it. This is just becoming like this is professionalism. Like this is what it has to be. Maybe being person in the media, like the media industry, is like it's not about the fun and excitement. It's about you just have to be professional and cordial and stuff like that. The stuff that people used to always like ram down my throat at every event. It's like, like you don't show excitement, don't like, you gotta be like matter of fact and stuff. And then there would be people like, what are you talking about? Like, this is cool and shit. And I'm like, I just like, all right, I'm gonna like so many different like sides of this. Like what do you do?
Yeah.
Get hyped.
Get hyped, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny you kind of talk about it like that because I remember there being mixed reactions when Twilight Princess was revealed because it was sort of that transition period, right? Where like before that there weren't a whole lot of press conferences and stuff being broadcast or anything like that, and so we were sort of at the tail end of press conferences being very businessy. And when the Twilight Princess trailer came up and everyone just started shouting and weeping and stuff, and it's like that was like a view into reaction culture that we have now. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
All right. Well, we'll move on from E3. We'll do a little donation check-in right now. We got a resub from Miseragog. We got a resub from Smartsky. $13.43 from Big Stretch. And a brand new sub from Jackkilometrason. There's some spaces in there that don't quite fit. I don't understand how to say it, but there it is. Thank you.
Thank you
for that new sub. Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
E3 level stuff right here. We got a little Zelda gameplay demonstration.
Finally.
We've pretty much seen mostly gameplay. For
Yeah.
a bit, but very quick cuts where you couldn't.
We
tell
didn't
what's
see
going
what it was
on.
like playing the game actually.
Yeah,
though.
and getting actual descriptions of what's happening.
Yes.
Right.
This
It's
is like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Bloodworth.
Yeah,
This is
well,
not
we-
E3.
Yeah, we don't have a full half-hour demo.
This is
with
what
a
you, yeah,
timer
where's some
on it.
Treehouse Live? Yeah, like, we didn't get that.
But yeah, so this is a pretty cool thing with Aonuma. Even still saying, it's like, hey, we're going to show you a little bit, but we don't want to give away too much. But a few different abilities. The first one was like, hey, how you gonna get up to the sky? How are you gonna get to these islands floating around? And they showed, which we've seen in trailers before, like a brick falling off of a building or whatever, and then you use an ability they call recall to rewind it back to its starting place back up there, and then you just ride on that thing. And that's basically, am I wrong? That's basically the only example they showed of that.
They said it was the only thing they showed. But they said it was not the only way you'd
Right.
get able to get back.
Well, yeah, they said there's other ways to get up to the sky, but they, like there are other things that you can probably do with recall as well.
Yeah, they showed like some objects in previous trailers of like a spike boulder going backwards
Yeah.
in time, hitting
Yeah,
goblins
because-
and stuff.
Oh yeah,
we talked about like
those,
the Sheikah Slates had not seen it present in the gameplay, and so those original core abilities you had in Breath of the Wild don't seem like they might be returning. Especially if you look at the HUD, you're not seeing any icons for any of those things.
Oh,
when I went through the like stasis and the other ones.
No
I'm forgetting.
bomb would be wild.
Well, I think that will be achieved through another thing they showed off.
Fusion.
Oh no! Well, what was the thing that it was? Fusion also the thing they described to enhance your weapons and items. What
Yeah,
was-
fuse is we can stick
yeah.
objects
like
together.
adding
yeah.
like a
Yeah.
fire chew jelly to your bow and arrow to make
yeah,
it flame,
yeah,
or like
yeah.
adding
Right.
the eye. I imagine adding something like that will make your arrows explode. So I think there are going to be some really crazy combinations. With the resources you gather in the world and then applying them to your existing your current toolkit, and that experimentation is gonna be like a lot of the fun. And also, I was mentioning to Huber, like crafting, cooking all uses those same pool of resources.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now you got to decide, man, I only have enough for these for like one shot. Otherwise, I won't be able to craft this item. I've been trying to, I think that kind of plays a little bit into like the main gameplay loop they're kind of trying to go for this time as well with the proper fusion,
Yeah.
which is, do you want to describe that?
Well, yeah. So the basic idea with fuse is that you stick different objects together, and the first thing that they showed was just taking a random stick, which is kind of a weak weapon. It's going to snap in half really quickly, and then you find a boulder, and then you fuse them together, and now you've got this huge hammer.
So cool.
And then they showed a pitchfork. And putting a stick on that to extend the reach of the pitchfork by like a ridiculous length.
Yeah.
They talked about arrows with a leaf, but then I didn't see them
They didn't
show
shoot
what
it.
that does.
No.
Yeah.
No, they didn't shoot it. No.
So that was interesting. But they had an ice arrow. They had an arrow with an eyeball, which was interesting because
Homing, yeah.
that made it a homing arrow.
Yeah.
The mushroom shield was funny.
The
where
the
You
mushroom
block
shield
and it,
was like
like-
a smoke grenade.
you had smoke grenades though.
Because the mushroom, like when it gets hit, it just sprays out all these spores. And then they also kind of showed it for like kind of like make your own vehicle aspect of it, which we
Yep.
saw in the previous trailer but didn't quite understand. To where they took 3 logs and then wedged them together, and then they put a couple of these fans on it to make it move.
Blood, one thing I like about the fuse aspect of it is people who don't like durability in Breath of the Wild, I think they get the feeling of like pressure of their weapon being destroyed and not having a weapon or being in a situation like that. But this now, like we've seen there's normal weapons in the game also, like swords and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But now to me, this is like you will always have something you can use if you're creative about what your surroundings are. So it's just giving you even more flexibility and relieving some of that stress, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
I
yeah.
also like how it feels like they're leaning into the player's creativity and they're not afraid to get like goofy or weird with it. Like they saw people who would like stasis a boulder and fling themselves across the entire world map, and like they're like, okay, let's just put weird, crazy stuff in the game already.
Yeah, I saw Jeff Grubb tweeting something along the lines of like, I'm actually really happy that this game looks the same.
Yeah.
Because it means that they've just spent the last 6 years like working on gameplay systems and, trying to do stuff that, you might not have ever done in a game before.
Yeah. I mean, we've barely seen anything in this game.
Oh, yeah.
They're keeping this game close. Like, I'm sure there's a lot that's going to be different. Like, obviously, it's the same Hyrule, which I think is actually really cool because we don't get that very often in Zelda. But there's definitely a lot they're still hiding about this game.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, to me, the long development time is shown with the tech of the game. The no loading, the seamlessness of going up and down, like, that's very impressive, especially for a game on Switch.
Yeah, jumping off one of these islands and then just, like, flying. And it was, like, something that was crazy with Breath of the Wild even.
Yeah.
And especially, like, what Isla was saying is, like, when you would see people, like, push that to its limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still see the whole map from up here.
But it's, like, holding up frame rate-wise way better, too, than Breath of the Wild would do when you do something crazy like that. It's, like, it's just much more smooth. Like, yeah, it's still 30 frames, but it's much more smooth, and that makes it just all the way better.
So I'm pretty sure your arm is your ability.
Yeah, it is.
Well, like
It must be.
where you're saying what the L button is, that's what
That's
those
the
are.
fuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fuse.
Sorry, because we were asking that during the reactions. It's like, yeah, they're holding L, and then it brings up a prompt for what you want. You want to fuse the sword or shield or whatever weapon you have currently equipped.
Yeah, it's your Shield Slate.
And then the other one's this we'll talk about in a sec. But yeah,
Well, yeah, it feels like an appropriate evolution of the game. Like the world has changed and evolved, and also so has our ability. Like, yeah, they haven't shown it yet in the footage that we're showing, but like the ascend ability, and the way he talked about it was just like, yeah, you used to have to just climb a mountain. Now you just kind of go through the mountain.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
My
can.
friend told
Sometimes,
me
yeah.
that's the way they're dealing with rain now.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have to, like,
maybe.
worry about rain.
Just,
climb
I mean,
up
they have
rain.
like different equipment, like the climbing gear. Like, have
I
a
know.
piece of equipment that
It was-
lets you climb in the rain.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
most
like have like gecko pads
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
The most intriguing thing about this is the you said the fans they attach for the raft later on in the demo. The power meter for them, like the battery or whatever they have, like they deplete pretty
Zonai
quickly.
battery.
Especially later on towards the end of the demo, they try and like Link tries to fly and hover with them. It drains incredibly fast.
Oh, interesting.
So I feel like we're gonna see obviously the battery upgrades.
Yep.
That like that's gonna be one of the core things is to
Somewhere in this-
restrict you.
Somewhere in the demo, I saw an enemy drop a battery too, Zonai battery.
Then that's absolutely good to be the thing. That's how they're going to try and like gate you from some stuff from like just immediately crafting something and flying up to anywhere.
Yeah. And you're definitely gonna upgrade your arm too, like the Sheikah Slate.
But it's going to be very interesting to see how they balance
Ultra.
your freedom of exploring the sky versus like the overworld, because the overworld feels like you probably should go almost anywhere with especially with the same Hyrule of changes. But the sky feels like that might be something they try and gate a little bit more potentially.
We've seen like some pictures of like a big swirling cloud in the sky, like there's like a storm around something,
Yeah.
so there could be
I saw it too.
stuff
It
like
looked like
that.
some crazy tower and a.
Yeah,
part of
maybe
the
if you
map.
get
Yeah.
close to it, it'll shoot you out of the sky or something.
Man, I wonder if Terrytown, like future punished Terrytown.
That's yeah, we were wondering that too. If it made
Yeah, there's
it.
a lot of stuff to be answered in terms of like how this interacts with the
hand.
world. Like, does it in any way use your save file from Breath of the Wild to like track things that you've already done?
What did amiibos do?
That's the real
Yeah, how many
hard-hitting question.
T-shirts can I
yeah,
get?
he also didn't,
Yeah,
he
how
didn't say
many
dungeons,
Switch
but also didn't say
t-shirts?
amiibo yet.
That's right.
Though they've been restocking those amiibos pretty fiercely, so there's definitely something.
Oh wait, I think
happening.
the amiibos, some of them give gliders. Maybe I saw something about that, like different gliders.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. They did show
Yeah.
that. Yep. They changed the pattern. You
Yeah.
can use the Majora's Mask amiibo to like make a.
Oh yeah.
The
yeah.
Majora's
face,
Mask.
yeah.
Yeah.
The goo when you assemble things kind of freaks me out.
Oh
Yeah, but I think Zelda games should do that. I should be
guess,
freaked
yeah.
out a little bit.
A little unsettled, yeah. God, I'm
Just a little
freaking
bit.
out. I can't wait for this game, dude.
Cannot wait.
I'm losing.
Yeah,
my
see like how
marbles.
fast that battery goes as soon as you start hovering. It's like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gone.
I think that's-
Sorry,
I love that, though.
on screen, but yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. The Ultra Hand is just basically the way to manipulate things. But the Ascend thing is crazy too.
It's crazy because like if there's no restriction, as long as there's something above you, like how far up you can go.
Yeah.
But like other than like simplifying traversal, the example Anuma gave was escaping like a jail cell. So like I need to see more of that. Obviously, they clearly want you to discover those moments for yourself where it has
And
more
how does
use
all
than
this
just
work into
traversal.
puzzles and
I
stuff?
was telling,
Yeah.
I think I was telling Brad like there's absolutely going to be a boss fight where you use Ascend
Yeah,
to like
go through it.
through platforms and stuff to like dodge attacks or reach a level.
And
you
you're
need to do
talking about
something.
fusing like a piece from a boss or something for a weapon.
Yeah.
Well, I was so shocked that you can go through the cave. Like that, the ceiling is super thick, but since there's a flat surface above it, you can go forever if there's a surface. Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes me, assume that that's one of the ways that you can get up to the sky, right? If you can,
It
like,
must be.
Yeah,
look
maybe
up.
find like a giant
Yeah,
tower.
maybe.
Ooh,
Like,
Chad is wondering about hidden rooms, like within a
Yeah.
cave that you can't
Yes.
get to
I-
otherwise.
I can't,
Yes.
So
I can't wait for the
cool.
glitches where you get
So
stuck
many.
in the middle of the thing.
So
or
many
whatever.
layers of tunnels and
Yeah.
things, like I could see them
Yeah.
like doing a tutorial version of that, right? Where it's like you ascend and then like you're in a level 2 and then you ascend to another level.
Yeah.
Yeah. The three main abilities. Just this demonstration shows to me, convinces me the time this has been in development that a lot of it has been utilized for this type of stuff because having to account for all these things and they're all like physics based stuff too. It's just it's a lot to keep track of. Also, like the seamless transition from like being in the sky at one point to where you get knocked down and not necessarily just falling slowly, but like you could like dive really fast and everything's still loaded in the world. Like that's on the Switch. Like
That's what we wanted Skyward Sword to be.
Yeah.
They really
Yeah.
to optimize this so it doesn't like run at 5 frames.
Yeah.
Probably took a while.
Really
for them.
impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
A liberal use of fog. Don's excited.
Well, it's interesting though because the fog, like it's there, but yeah.
I mean, it gets foggier when you go up into the sky, and I'm sure that's an optimization thing.
Yes.
It's
but it doesn't feel like it's obscuring too
like
much.
no. I mean, it's clearly like it's like switching and masking an LOD thing, where it's like making the ground look.
Unless you have to get some kind of mask or a goggles item that gives you clearer vision when you're driving.
Yeah.
Frame rate goggles.
Yeah. Performance
Frame rate
goggles. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else to ponder on this at the moment?
There's so much to ponder, Blood,
Yeah.
about this
All
game.
it is
It's
ponder.
what wasn't said, honestly. That's like, driving, the questions and curiosity. Obviously, they've made it clear that they really don't want to reveal too much because the magic of, as you were saying, Brad, like discovery, exploration, you said, Huber, they don't want to take that away from the players because seeing the reactions of Breath of the Wild, they know that's like probably the most important part. For someone like me, though, I feel like I still need I would like a little bit more before
Get that
the
launch
release
trailer.
in terms of two things.
Yeah.
I need to see some kind of puzzle component in action.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, using these to solve puzzles would be very interesting to see how it works.
And I need to see like what is like the string of puzzle together thing where it's dungeons, some new form of shrine. Is it just going to be the islands? Like this, just some kind of like, tipping of their hand about that because
Well, and also like
I'd literally like to see dungeons again.
yeah, and like if you don't have bombs, does that mean a puzzle or a room that would involve bombs will have to have like an infinite like fire gel spawn creature somewhere nearby, so you can always craft that.
Yeah, I don't think that's
item,
that
like-
unusual to do, though.
No,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying it's a different kind of experience than just always having those
Well,
abilities.
They could still have bombs, just have them as an item, actually.
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you craft them.
They didn't give us the full breakdown of like the menus or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we have we have
Exactly.
no
We
idea.
have no idea.
Yeah, we never saw
Like,
like
we're
a
just
wheel or
seeing
anything.
what the game looks like when you play it,
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah.
Isla, you just get a boulder and then you fuse it with some chili peppers.
Yeah.
Remember the
Yeah.
chili peppers from the
Yeah.
first game?
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's your bomb.
I gotta see the economy in action.
Yeah,
Dude,
you get
yeah.
that money. Someone's telling me Ascend is the grappling hook. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I want the hook shot or grappling. Yeah, give me a proper one. That'd be fun as heck.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, there's still stuff in the other earlier trailers that we like just really don't have too much context for. Like giant platform in the sky he lands on with look like a mechanical device. Like, is that gonna fly? Like, well, yeah, there's a bunch. And
So
like,
many questions.
honestly, yeah, like I don't see like the connective tissue yet of like the sky and the world other than like traversal. It's like, yeah, like not even story wise. It's like, how is this like, are blocks gonna fall down? Is it just a way to go back up there, or like, is that the duality mechanic where surface and sky influence each other and something? Like, I have no idea. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very curious about that.
Do you
type
think
of
you'll
stuff.
be able to fuse anything with your horse?
That's a great
Oh my
question,
God.
Hubert. And I'm gonna say yes. Maybe a piece. Maybe
I don't know.
Some
I don't-
horse armor and put it on
We
there.
haven't seen him like fusing anything that's a living thing.
He's
right.
That might be the
yet.
That's the
the-
restriction.
yeah, the restriction. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna
The
fuse.
real
divine-
question is, will
divine
you have
beast.
a bird mount? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think that's got to happen at some point.
It'll be
Eventually.
all the shrines
Later game or
equivalent,
something,
You know
whatever
what's
it's going to be in this
fun
game.
as heck to do.
Huh.
He's gonna be getting up as high as he can in one of those nice skylands, finding one of those dragons flying around, and pulling an Avatar one, diving at them from above.
From above. Hell yeah.
Also, no indication about anything. I'm really paying attention to like music other than like what they play during the
They
video.
played like the same writing sound
Yeah.
or song and stuff like that. And they played some new music in the Sky Island.
I'm curious about if they're gonna go with like less ambience and more actual music, or are they gonna stick
good
to
question.
that? Since it feels like it's a slightly different tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you might get a little more.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little more.
Curious. Also,
Hell of
like
a soundtrack.
the what?
Hell of a soundtrack, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Also, I'm waiting for that one menacing enemy, the equivalent of the Guardians.
Oh,
I'm waiting
sure,
for that
yeah.
reveal. Like, maybe it's that Golems thing that was in the earlier trailer, but yeah, something that's just like dotted over the world. That's like you don't want to mess with those things
Yeah.
right away. Yeah.
Yeah, that was something that was interesting about this too, is that they pretty much focused on the new construct enemies.
Yep.
Whereas in
Yeah.
the past trailers, you kind of saw a lot of the same guys from the first game. Mm-hmm. So
And yeah, as you said in our reactions, Brad, nothing about the underground whatsoever yet.
Nope.
Like that's
Nothing.
been
Yep.
who
Nothing
knows
about
what
Zelda.
what's that about?
And that
Yep.
piece of artwork with her with like a new Sheikah slate that looks like a Switch now.
I don't think we've seen a single other NPC other than Link, Zelda, and
We saw a few people at the stables. That's
like
about it.
recognizable
Yeah.
like
Right.
main NPCs from
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild. We've
Yeah,
not.
they're keeping all that
they're
under
keeping them
wraps.
under
dude.
wraps.
All
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because honestly, they can. As much as we would like to know, they don't care. They know we're gonna play it anyways. They don't. They know.
They know. Also, yeah, that T is right there with that symbol.
the
with
switch.
and in between the
Ouroboros,
Ouroboros.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
The Phoenix and the
Are we
Triforce
gonna
and the
touch
symbols.
the
It's
Triforce in
like,
this?
There was something in the middle of that Triforce.
something in the middle of the Triforce.
Was there a four Triforce piece? What?
Whoa, a new one.
Do you think?
It was in the. I mean, it could just be decoration. It's on the dock. It's only on the dock image, I believe, or
Oh,
in the
okay.
graphic they do for. Yeah. No, it's just something.
It's like a
it's
it's like a
just-
circular
yeah.
thing.
But I mean, look at
think
those.
it's
Look
fine.
at those symbols. Some familiar symbols there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice.
Nice. Yeah, this is one we were going to talk about with Mitch, but we'll still bring it up. MultiVersus
Oh yeah.
Oh.
is going offline until 2024.
Yeah.
I had forgotten that, much like Fortnite was forever, this game has apparently just been an open beta this whole time.
Well, Fortnite was like what early access. That's how they marketed
Right.
it as.
Yeah, for a long time.
But it didn't go offline for like half a year.
right,
When you've paid for stuff in the game.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's won a game award for fighting game. It's had battle passes. They're
That's
selling
hilarious.
Gleamium, which is one of their currencies. All that stuff that you've gotten, you're going to hang on to. That'll be there. But this is an interesting statement, the way they put this. Throughout our open beta, we've been working hard to build the best gameplay experience, and we appreciate all of the inspiration you've given us. Our open beta has been an important learning opportunity for us and a stepping stone to the next phase of MultiVersus. We know there's still a lot of work to do. As a result, we have a clearer view of what we need to focus on, specifically the content cadence of new characters, maps, and modes to give you more ways to enjoy the game, along with updated netcode and more matchmaking improvements. We'll also be reworking the progression system based on your feedback and looking at new ways for you to connect with your friends in the game. To do this the right way, we will be closing the MultiVersus open beta on June 25th. As part of this process, we'll be pausing updates and taking the game offline as we prepare for the launch of MultiVersus, which we are targeting for early 2024.
Yeah, I mean, a few people I follow in the FGC are saying this is the right decision to make. Like this is the right way to handle this. If they want this game to be taken like seriously and have like a proper chance to kind of course correct after having a hot start and kind of fizzling out in where it is now that they're deciding to do this. But I can absolutely see from a consumer standpoint, it's like, wait, I paid for all this and you're taking this away for like 6 months or more.
Right.
Like, what the heck? Like, a lot of people are just going to move on and not give it another chance, so they're going to feel a little bit burned by that. So I definitely see that perspective.
I think launches are pretty hype, so they get to like do it again. Like when this game comes back, they're gonna be front and center.
Yeah, in a weird way, it's almost like it's like they're launching a sequel, but they're taking away the first game.
Right.
I was gonna say, depends how substantial when it's re-released. Actually, how substantial the upgrades are.
Yeah.
If it's like a new character or something like that, but it still feels relatively the same, looks the same, kind of. It's not gonna be like Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn, when you come back. It's not going to be like crazy like that. Just hope it'll be enough to get people interested in it again. Because like Street Fighter 6 is going to be out. It's going to be a lot more competition when this game comes back. Tekken 8 could be out around then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it's a different kind of fighting game.
Oh, I know
for sure.
that.
I know
it is.
closer to Smash
Absolutely.
Brothers, for sure.
But I'm just saying, it's only so much light out there, limelight for games.
Also shows us like how hard it is to make a fighting game and maintain it.
It ain't easy.
I think we also saw, at least I think I saw something about like Riot's Project L. It's like you're not going to be like Evo this year. Something they confirmed there like there will be no update about the game.
Got it.
So Tom Cannon confirmed it will not have an update or announcement because it's still they're still working on it. It's not ready to show. So. Yeah, this is. I'm with Brad. Like, I don't think they're just gonna come back with one new character that's like they'll be a nail in the coffin before it even like comes back. But they mentioned, they alluded to like new modes, like if they have like comprehensive stuff. Like just look at Smash Brothers and see what they did. See what Smash Brothers hasn't done. Like that was one of the biggest things they had going for them when they launched. Is like look at all this customization they had, all these like UI elements you can move around. Like you couldn't do that in Smash. It's like what does Smash not have? They don't have a proper adventure mode. Like their spirits mode and like some like that stuff like doesn't really. In my opinion, it doesn't measure up. There's an opportunity there to do something like break the targets, like similar analogous things, like those little mini game stuff and like challenges, and maybe up to like work on a lot of different stages, man. Like take the existing stages, get a little bit more crazy with them. You can have like the simplified versions for people who just want to be like competitive, but you need to have like a lot of crazy stuff going on in the background to keep the average people like a little bit more interested in that.
Yeah. To be clear, they will you will still be able to play the offline stuff.
Okay, that's nice.
You can still go into the lab, to the training mode, and you can still do local matches.
That's cool.
With access to all the stuff that you've already gotten. But basically, if you haven't bought it by April 4th,
you won't be able to.
You won't be able to until next year, essentially. Because that's when they're going to remove it from the storefronts.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Get on it if you're interested.
Yeah.
Don't got a lot of time.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you could spend all that time training, and it's like, oh, they changed my character.
No, I
If
mean,
you care. If you care.
That's any game, and even when
Yeah.
a game's active, like you need to be prepared. Like meta's gonna change, like between seasons and stuff. Like that's something people have to. You should know better.
Comes with the territory.
Yeah, if you like play it offline and train, like I'm ready to go on day one, they like change your character. Like you only have yourself to blame for that.
Yeah. We got more news to come, but if you've been enjoying the show so far, take a second to like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Do your financial goals feel out of reach? They don't have to be. With Chime's secured credit builder Visa credit card, you can start building credit with your own money through on-time payments and small everyday purchases like groceries, streaming, and gas. Members see an increase of 30 points to their credit scores on average. Chime reports your payments to the major credit bureaus to help you build credit over time, all with no annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply. Start making your financial dreams a reality with Chime. Signing up only takes 2 minutes and does not affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/allies. That's chime.com/allies. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by Stride Bank N.A. pursuant to a license from Visa USA, Chime checking account, and $200 qualifying direct deposit required to apply for the secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card. Based on a study conducted by Experian, Credit Builder members observed an average of 30 points FICO score 8 increase after 8 months with regular on-time payments. Results may vary. See chime.com for details. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply except at MoneyPass ATMs in a 7-Eleven or any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Chime.com/allies. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When is the last time you got to know something new about yourself? I love learning new things about myself. This might surprise you, but I am transgender. I didn't always know that about myself. Looking back, it seems like I probably should have figured it out a lot earlier, but it was a lot of fun and scary and challenging to learn that about myself. And it changed my life for the better. Therapy is one of the big ways that I learned that about myself. I also have learned that how I handle grief and how I handle depression and how I handle loss and disappointment and happiness in therapy. That's helped me to process and learn these kinds of things. Oftentimes I feel like I learn something new about myself, maybe not every session, but once a month, in therapy, I'll discover some little nugget that I didn't know about myself. And I think it's really valuable. And you can do that in therapy. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/allies today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/allies. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh takes the hassle out of mealtime this spring by delivering pre-portioned ingredients and easy-to-prepare recipes right to your door. Skip the checkout lines and get outside in the warmer weather because HelloFresh has dinner covered. Or in our case, get out in the rain because LA doesn't usually get rain, so enjoy it while it's here. You can spend less time in the kitchen with quick and easy meals like HelloFresh's fast and fresh pineapple chicken tacos, dude. Or falafel power bowls, ready in 15 minutes or less. HelloFresh keeps your taste buds on their toes with 40 recipes and over 100 seasonal and convenience items to choose from each week. With so much variety, there are options for everyone and every lifestyle. I personally like HelloFresh because it introduces me and my girlfriend to new wild things like barramundi, which I didn't even know was a thing. It's a fish, and it makes me feel fancy and like I can actually cook things because the recipes are really easy to follow, and it's fun too. And like I don't have to go to the store and get weird stuff that I would never otherwise buy. Go to HelloFresh.com/allies50 and use code allies50 for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh.com/allies50, code allies50, 50% off and free shipping. This is America's #1 meal kit for a reason, baby. Check it out. HelloFresh.com/allies50. Right now, go. Do it. Okay, thanks.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. All right, It's time for the Not-NPDs February sales report.
NPDs.
Reports formerly known
Yeah,
as
what is it
NPD.
called now?
So, as mentioned a few weeks back, the NPD group merged with another sales firm, research firm, and the new company is called Circana. Matt Pescatella is still on the case. And there's actually a lot of interesting highlights from February before we even get to the list.
Okay.
Consumer spending was up in every dimension.
Every dimension.
Dude,
multiverse.
Multiverse of sales.
Everyone's
Multiverse of
spending.
economy.
Yeah, 4.6 billion, 6% higher than compared to a year ago.
Wow.
Hardware is up 68%. Accessories are up 13%. Content is up 1%. Highest monthly year-on-year percentage for the U.S. video game market since October 2021.
Jeez.
Pokemon Go had a strong February, moving back into the top 5 mobile games after growing in-game spend 23% compared to January and 10% year-on-year. Video game hardware, as we said, was 68% compared to February 2021. 495 million just on hardware. Highest video game hardware spend for a February since 2009. Jeez. So, yeah, PlayStation 5.
Matt, yeah.
Killing it out there.
Wow.
PS5's in stock, man. That's what happens.
Yep.
Growth in PS5 hardware spending drove February hardware gains. PS5 was best-selling hardware, both in units and dollar sales, for both February 2023 and the year so far, but it's just January, February, of course. Year-to-date hardware spending is now 29% higher compared to the first 2 months of 2022.
Wow.
Accessories grew 13%. Growth in virtual reality headset sales offset a drop in gamepad spending. Which is interesting because I want to say February was before the PSVR 2. What was that?
I
When did
think
that
it was
come out?
February.
Was
wasn't
it
it?
February?
It came out in February.
Okay.
Were there some pricing shifts in the Quest at that point too?
Right,
Something
yeah.
like that?
But interesting to see that. And then let me get this list going. All right, our top 20, formatted differently. I got to get used to this. We have 7 games in this top 20 that are brand new.
Ooh.
Oh, I was like, well, it's
I
not
know
20 then.
some of them, so I'll be silent for those.
Yeah, some of these are very obvious.
Yeah.
Some of these are not so at all. So yeah, any guesses for February releases? I know it's a little weird because this month it's coming out at the end of March, so it's stretch your memory a little bit more.
GTA 5.
GTA 5?
I mean,
It hasn't been there for a while, Heber. It's not in there, and it's not a new release either, of course.
I just like saying it.
okay, Haber.
Brad spoiled one, Wild Hearts.
Wild Hearts, yeah. 8th place.
Oh, really?
8th place
sick,
for Wild
dude.
Hearts.
Cool.
Hey, the game came out in February. It's a fair guess. What other games came out in February?
I don't know. So long ago, dude. My recall's bad.
You don't know. It's a big one.
Yeah.
Number
very
1.
Big. Very big.
Just huge, massive, destroying sales everywhere.
God, no.
do you want me to just
February?
February, yeah.
February.
I don't know.
It's Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, it's Hogwarts.
Oh,
Yeah, number
okay.
1.
Yeah.
Beat Call of Duty,
Got
beat
it.
everything. Yeah.
Jeez.
Just monster. One of those, Shiver, you reviewed.
Yakuza.
Like a dragon.
Uh,
Yes.
Ninth place
Nice.
coming there. Hit that top 10.
Nice. Very nice.
And you remember,
Sakamoto.
we didn't get this
Yes.
game because Sega didn't think it would sell here.
Yes.
So that's very good news.
Jeez.
Very,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Great game.
We got a couple of sequels here.
Modern Warfare 2.
That's
Well, that's not new. Talking about new ones in February.
But it's in the top 20.
It is.
So don't write me off. It's in the top
I'm asking
20.
for the new
He's
games.
talking about the 7 new games.
New game.
Okay. No, my head is a fog right now, all right?
One of them you probably won't remember. The other one you should, because it's been getting really good buzz since it came out.
Octopath?
Octopath Traveler 2.
What is it at?
10th place.
Oh, okay, cool.
nice.
Hit that top 10.
Was Dead Space February?
That was January, but it probably is in there.
Right. Dead Space is at 3rd place right
Yeah.
now.
Forspoken.
That was nuts.
Forspoken is gone.
Yeah.
And that was in January.
Yeah.
release.
Oh, it was January? I totally
Yeah.
thought it was February.
Yeah.
Sorry.
but it is gone. It is not on this
gone.
list at
Yikes.
all.
It went bye-bye.
That is bad.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yikes.
Bye-bye.
They should
I
announce DLC
anticipate
for that,
something
too.
like that in the next one too.
Yeah, so you have 2 sequels and a re-release on the lower end.
So where did Metroid Prime Remaster end up?
It's not in there.
That's a travesty. That
not
list,
in there.
that list is wrong.
Yeah.
Was that February though?
Yes.
Well, remember this
Okay.
is physical, so that wasn't out.
Oh
yet.
yeah,
It's all
physical
digital.
was out,
That's
so we'll
true.
see it in
Came out
March,
later.
baby.
It's all digital.
All right,
Yay.
it's fun. Redemption art.
Hey, I did my part. I got physical.
Oh, yeah.
Damiani, you played one of these, and it is a Switch game.
Is Theater Rhythm on there?
Theater Rhythm is at 20.
Final bar
Wow.
line. Yeah.
It got in there. Just slipped in there.
Dang.
That was not the one I was referring to, though.
Oh, I did
Is
play
it
that
some
one.
Kirby game?
Kirby
Kirby
Return to Dreamland at 15.
Deluxe.
And the other one that you've probably all forgotten, Company of Heroes 3.
Yes, I did forget
Got
I
in
that.
there.
didn't know about
16th
that.
place.
So I didn't,
I just
could-
looked at Mike for
I couldn't
stuff like
forget
that.
it when I didn't know.
I haven't played that yet.
Um,
I like the second one a lot.
yeah. So any returning favorites you want to ask about?
Like Hubert said, Call of Duty.
Call of
is
Call of
there.
Duty's at 2.
Yeah.
Minecraft.
Minecraft is at 12.
Where's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
13th.
All right.
Right behind Minecraft there.
I feel like something else. Some sports game, FIFA.
FIFA's there, 5.
Oh, where's
NBA 2K.
NBA, I don't think. Yeah, it is. 19th.
Scarlet Violet?
They don't track digital on 2K. Scarlet and Violet are at 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, so still hanging in there.
Is Arceus on there?
No, I think it's slipped off.
Okay.
Yep.
Buff.
2 big ones that have been getting a lot of extra promotion.
Extra promotion.
Did any
is
Last of Us?
Horizon on there?
No.
Any Last
Okay.
of Us?
Oh, Last of Us.
Last
Great
of Us.
call.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last of Us Part 1 is
Yeah, yeah.
at 6. Last
TV
of Us
show
Part 2
power.
is at 18.
Oh,
TV show power.
TV show power.
Power.
Whoa.
But yeah, you ready to run down that full
Yeah,
list?
yeah, yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. 20th, Theater Rhythm. 19th, NBA 2K23. 18th, The Last of Us Part 2. 17th, Sonic Frontiers.
Oh.
Still hanging in. 16th is Company of Heroes 3. 15th is Kirby's Return to Dreamland. 14th is Pokemon. 13th is Mario Kart 8. 12th is Minecraft. 11th, God of War Ragnarok. Still hanging in. 10th is Octopath. 9th is Like a Dragon. 8th is Wild Heart. 7, Elden Ring.
Yes.
Still in that top 10. 6th, Last of Us Part 1. 5th, FIFA. 4th, Madden. 3rd, Dead Space. 2nd, Call of Duty. And 1st, Hogwarts.
Dead Space number 3.
Question. Since it's on Game Pass, will Redfall be in the top 5, do you think?
You know that a lot of times it doesn't deter a lot of games.
Cool.
But like we didn't see Hi-Fi Rush.
But it's usually... Do they do digital too? Do they count that for
I think Xbox does.
Cool.
I'm not 100%.
Because that'll probably
sure.
include PC too, like Steam and stuff.
Right.
Cool. Because I expect Starfield to be in there
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, because like this month at least, like the only ones that don't include digital are Nintendo and 2K.
Okay. Got
But
it.
I don't. Well, Minecraft is an Xbox.
Yeah, but that's multi-platform, or that's on everything, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's interesting because it's like they don't say Microsoft. They say multiple video game manufacturers.
Maybe because there's like Java edition of it and stuff too.
I don't know.
That's the one I played.
It's interesting.
They're sunsetting that one or something. I got some email I didn't read about it.
Yeah, I think there were some changes coming to it or something like that.
All right.
But yeah,
Cool.
very interested to see some of those other numbers for
Yeah.
March.
And PS5 just continuing to dominate, it seems like right now.
Yeah,
People are getting in there. 5S16, baby, Damian, it's coming.
The 16 effect.
The 16 effect, it's
Baby
coming.
Damian.
Better get a PS5 to
Better
play
get
that.
it quick.
heck yeah.
Better get it quick.
All right, let's do a donation check-in. We got 2. We got one that's like, this looks like a barcode that like glitched out. There's just this
Sick.
big long, like, it's, yeah. It's like a MAC address. But they donated $10. And then JJ Gomez 81 donated $25.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
much
you.
for
So much.
participating in Easy X.
Ooh, the Tetris film just went live on Apple TV Plus, apparently.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Lubro says that was them.
Oh, thank you, Lubro.
Bro.
Yeah. Sweet.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. While we were streaming today, the BAFTAs were happening. I saw a lot of like little clips from the people on those stages, and I'm like, I saw these same people at GDC last week. You guys are tired.
Yeah, they sure are.
Yeah.
Flying from one event to another like that. Because I'm sure a lot of them also went to PAX East. Wow. I'll go through the whole list.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll go through the whole list.
Please do it.
Yeah, there were some very, they called them baffling BAFTAs earlier.
That was Iowa.
Yeah.
The winner is very interesting. Animation went to God of War Ragnarok.
Cool.
Nice. Maybe they'll put that cape in.
But they reused the boat animation. How did that happen?
I saw people like showing off Ratatoskr scenes and stuff like that, and it's like all the work that had to go. And like, we got to have this guy like look like he's being held by the scruff of his neck and all that,
Yeah.
and that's not easy. Just all these things that you take for granted.
Totally.
Yeah. Evolving game, Final Fantasy 14.
It's evolving.
Sweet.
Hell yeah.
Sure is.
Original property, Elden Ring.
Heck yeah.
Very original.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Super original.
Audio, also went to God of War.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good
All right.
audio, for sure.
Game design, Vampire Survivors.
Okay, I saw one image with a bunch of like lines and stuff, like they showed or something, where they were like trying to illustrate like how you have to track all this stuff. That looked pretty insane.
Nice.
But I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
It is the BAFTAs, so they have the British Game Award for Rollerdrome, which is nice. It's a good game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what other games were nominated at the moment, but that's a fun one. Artistic Achievement, Tunic.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Multiplayer, Elden Ring.
Yeah, okay.
I don't understand.
Yo!
I
Okay.
don't get this one.
I don't understand
I
this.
don't-
Bit of a weird one.
I don't quite get
I don't
it.
understand it.
Yeah.
They thought the mimics were other players.
Like, it's cool, but, you know, we've done it so many times, it's, like, not special. You know what I mean? Like, I like it, but it's not, like, I'm not blown away by it.
Right. Narrative, Immortality.
Oh,
That is a good win.
Yeah.
Like, especially now that I've like seen more about what's gone into that at GDC, it's like, oh yeah,
Heck
absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
Performer in a supporting role, Leia de Leon Hayes, Angerboda
Nice.
in God of War Ragnarok. Music, God of War Ragnarok as well. Solid pick.
Oh yeah.
The EE Game of the Year, which is basically a sponsored audience vote.
Oh.
That went to God of War Ragnarok. Technical achievement, Horizon.
Yeah.
Forbidden
Yeah,
West.
dude.
I looked up the other British games,
Power
Yeah.
Wash Simulator.
which makes this more confusing.
Oh.
Ooh.
The way certain things shook out. So the other ones are Citizen Sleeper, Ollie Ollie World, Total War Warhammer 3, 2 Point Campus, and Vampire Survivors.
Oh.
Interesting. For
Yeah.
for what is to come.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Maybe they weren't British enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, who
Not
knows?
enough tea and crumpets.
I don't think there's much of that in Rollerdrome. Like Mad Max shooting people on roller skates.
It's all metaphor for it, blood.
Hey, Brexit changed things.
Yeah. Family game, Kirby and the Forgotten
There you
Land.
go.
Yeah.
Most appropriate reward.
Debut game went to Tunic. Very nice.
Very nice.
Game Beyond Entertainment. Endling, Extinction is Forever. Still getting those nods.
Beyond entertainment?
Yeah, so that's
Beyond.
like your
I like
games
that.
for
Game for
impact.
Impact,
Okay.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Beyond Entertainment. I like that name.
Performer in a leading role went to Christopher Judge.
Yo, long speech?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't watch it all. I just like went through like the list. The Fellowship Award, which is like given to industry pioneers, Shuhei Yoshida.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I saw that.
Jolly.
He did some interviews and stuff too out there,
Joining
which is
the
nice.
fellowship.
Talked about how Journey changed his life. And the best game, Vampire Survivors.
So Rollerdrome was more British than Vampire Survivors? Is that what
They somehow.
Okay.
I'm confused by because they say best game, but then there's a different thing that's called EE Game of the Year.
That's the audience award.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
EE is like a telecom company. So it's just sponsored. Yeah.
Okay.
Vampire Survivors.
It
Best
confused me too. I'm like, what the crap is EE?
Yeah, they don't define it on here, so I'm like, what is that?
But yeah.
Pretty interesting.
It's so
pick.
weird.
Say what you really feel, Heber.
Interesting pick.
No, I like Vampire Survivor, but I just thought it dragged on in like the 40-hour mark, 30-hour
The
mark.
40-hour mark of Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, it starts to
beat
finally
it.
drag. You know what other game wasn't mentioned?
It dragged before the credits rolled, so that's kind of a big mark against it for me.
It's not a credits rolling kind of a game, I feel.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well,
But it is
what the hell's the
interesting.
point? Just to
Just go forever.
journey.
It's an idle clicker, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see how it beats out Elden Ring, but it's all just opinions.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about that last week, right? Like, nope, we didn't get an Elden Ring clean sweep after all.
Heber.
Damn you, BAFTA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
BAFTA broke the chain.
Breath of the Wild won the BAFTAs.
I sure did.
No mention of Rogue Legacy 2 again.
I was thinking it.
But God of War, talking about like close to sweeping, like animation, audio,
Dang, yeah.
the supporting role, the leading role, the audience award. Like, yeah, that's a lot.
That's like,
It's got mass appeal, baby. Hell yeah.
it's like wins everything, but not best game of the year.
Yeah, not game of the year. And then game of the year couldn't beat out Rollerdrome for British.
Yeah, what?
So weird. It's so
That's
weird.
what's so funny to me is it lost its own category and then won the Oscar for Best Picture. It's
Maybe,
so bizarre.
Yeah.
Maybe Elden Ring and God of War took each other's votes.
They canceled it out. Well, that
maybe.
actually feels similar to how the
Yeah.
first Easy Allies Game of the Year went to Last
Oh,
Guardian.
ranked voting kind of thing?
Ranked voting. This reeks of ranked voting to me. I wonder if BAFTAs has ranked voting.
The fourth most popular game.
Yeah. That feels like the only way this could have happened. Maybe not. I love Vampire Survivor.
Same.
Yeah. Also this week, we got some GDC stats. 28,000 people went to that show.
Oh.
There were 1,000 speakers, over 700 sessions, workshops, roundtable sessions, etc. 330 exhibitors on that show floor. And we've got 6 videos that we shot. 4 of them are up now.
Wow.
2 of them on the way, so keep an eye out for those. But if you haven't watched those GDC impressions, go check them out. A lot of fun stuff that I got to see there. Resident Evil 4 Remake has sold over 3 million copies in its first 2 days.
Hell
Yeah, get
That's
it.
how
Great game.
Capcom's hitting that sales goals
Sales.
they had for
We
the
all
year.
thought it was Monster Hunter.
Yep, it's this RE4, baby.
Yep.
That's it.
The strongest Steam release in series history,
Great.
with over 125,000
Already
players
4.
on launch day.
I was like, what game?
Nice. Good.
Yeah. Also, PSVR 2 mode is now in development.
Hell yeah. We'll play.
We'll see that coming out. Also, I saw Mercenaries is next month.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
April
Early
6th.
next month.
Microsoft is ending the $1 Game Pass trial promotion.
Yeah. I'm surprised it went on this long, I guess.
Yeah.
It's been many years.
Yeah, a lot of people learned to game that timing.
They sure did. They sure did.
Oh,
So it's just, I think this was just inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah, they said they're looking to new offers, new promotions and stuff, but they haven't said anything specific. We do know the friends and family thing is coming up, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that a lot of people will take advantage of that.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know who will be the person in charge of collecting the bills
Yeah.
in those groups, so do not envy them. As somebody that's like had roommates and stuff before, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, good. Everybody, please get me your internet bill. Thank you.
I can't specifically find out how the games BAFTA voting works, but I looked into how regular BAFTA voting works, and
Yeah.
it seems as though everyone in the Academy votes online, and then the most voted games, like the top 4, go into a thing, and then a jury of like 9 people
Oh, okay.
picks the one they like. So pretty cool. Pretty wild. So I have no idea if that's
That's
gaming
interesting
one
because
works,
that actually kind of makes it feel like it makes a little bit more sense, right? That you've actually like talked it out rather than just anonymously throw numbers at the wall.
Oh, okay. Here's a more specific one about games. If it's different, I'll tell you, but whatever.
Sure. Stray Gods, the role-playing musical, is live streaming a concert on April 12th, including performances from Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, and Mary Elizabeth McGlynn from Silent Hill 2 fame, as well as Shadows of the Damned, Hubert, on that soundtrack.
Yep.
Austin Wintory has composed some of that music too. So even though I have no familiarity with this game before this announcement, I'm curious to check this out.
Got some talent behind it.
Yeah. Square Enix announced that award-winning RPG, Live Alive, is coming to PlayStation and PC
Nice.
on April 27th.
Hell yeah. Cool game.
Bad news, EA is laying off 6% of its workforce, which comes to around 700-something people.
Man.
Record profits, though.
Yeah, it's a restructuring kind of thing. From Andrew Wilson, as we drive greater focus across our portfolio, we're moving away from projects that do not contribute to our strategy, reviewing our real estate footprint, and restructuring some of our teams. This is the most difficult part, and we are working through the process with the utmost care and respect. Where we can, we are providing opportunities for our colleagues to transition onto other projects. Where that's not possible, we are providing severance pay and additional benefits such as healthcare and career transition services.
I'm so glad Dead Space sold well because it sends the right message.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Dead Space, you know, like this restructuring, right? It reads to me like they're going to cut some maybe service games. Maybe they're moving away from it.
Maybe
or
some of that, yeah. Or, you know, and they're also talking about real estate stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like close some offices, and so then you just don't have like some general staff there.
Yeah.
But
You know what sent the right message? Was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, yeah.
A single-player game with no microtransactions sold
yeah.
a ton.
Yep.
yeah, that's very good.
Heck yeah.
In Microsoft Activision updates, Japanese regulators have approved the deal. So it's another
They don't care.
another one
They don't care.
knocked down. Well, yeah.
They're like, Microsoft? Who's that?
And then lastly, development has been reset on Project Sirius, the Witcher spinoff title that's in the works by the Molasses Flood. CD Projekt Red is writing off $7 million in costs, and it's unclear whether they're going to stick with the same developer or if it's going to move to somebody else or what's going to actually
Whoa.
happen. But they basically looked at the game as like, yeah, this doesn't feel like it's working. So.
Yeah, we don't even know anything. We didn't even know anything about the game at all. We just
Right.
knew it existed, so guess it didn't work out.
Well, it's weird because it's like it didn't work out, but it's not canceled. It's just
Right.
starting
Well,
from
whatever
scratch. Yeah.
happened didn't work out.
Yeah. It's time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
From Kristen G. Rosario. Hello, everyone. I was sadly not able to get a copy of Resident Evil 4 Remake last week, but for good reason. I am taking my brother to his first WrestleMania this
Cool.
weekend.
Damn.
That's right, we'll be in your neck of the woods by the time you read this. I have owed my brother for a lot and have owed him a WrestleMania for a while, seeing as he's always busy. So I thought, what better way than to take him to the showcase of the Immortals? With all of this pro wrestling floating around in my head, I wanted to ask which video game characters you could see as professional wrestlers. Who could you see as the top good guy, babyface, the top bad guy, heel, or just best overall when it comes to in-ring performance and mic skills? Also, only non-wrestler characters. So no King from Tekken, El Fuerte or Zangief from Street Fighter, or anybody from the Guacamelee games. And P.S., wanted to give a shout out to the wrestling subserver in the EZA Discord sports channel. It's been so great spending time with some like-minded pro wrestling fans.
Jack Garland.
Yeah,
He's like
Stone
the
Cold energy.
Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Shulk, but with sleek oil applied.
Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yeah.
That's Shulk? Okay.
Shulk? What?
I could see Shulk as like a manager, maybe.
Shulk, I can't see Shulk as a manager.
No.
Shulk would just be like a baby face for sure.
Like maybe Ryan. He's like big enough.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Shulk's a cruiser.
Yeah, Shulk's like I don't know about Shulk. That's not who I thought. Let's definitely get let's get Chris Redfield in there,
Oh yes,
dude.
Powerhouse.
As a heel.
Yeah.
yeah.
boulder punching.
He'd be
Big
like
time
he'd be
heel.
like the Triple H.
Yeah,
he'd be
dude.
Triple H, dude. He
Yes.
so would.
Betrays everyone. As soon as
Tundra Boy Muck in chat says Hora Lou. Already has a wrestling
That's
moveset.
great.
Yeah.
Love Orlando.
I think Dante could be a funny wrestler. Comedy
Oh,
wrestler.
Yeah.
Comes out with a pizza.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, all he does is just like taunts everyone. That's it. That's his
Chat
specialty.
says anyone from Gears of War,
Oh sure.
Abby, Marcus Phoenix,
Major
Jabroni
deal.
from Silvercase, Bowser, DK, Johnny Gat, Kratos, Heimdall. Yeah.
Sick.
Nice. From Jeff Kendall. Hello, allies. For those of us who don't have the platform you do as Easy A, how do you get the word out about a game that you feel got greatly overlooked? Or really overlooked?
Ask Huber.
I just beat Marvel's Midnight Suns, and it's really sad that the game is so criminally underplayed and overlooked. I wish I could scream it out to the world, but my friend group already knows how good it is and feels the same as me. Shout out to Midnight Suns. Give it a try, allies.
I did. We did play it. You and me played some of it.
I played some of it.
was good.
I want to play
Yeah.
more, for sure. Absolutely. It's very little.
I mean, all we can do is just say, this game's cool. Check it
Yeah.
out as
Yeah.
much as we can. I don't know. You don't want to be like annoying about it.
Yeah, yeah. There's a fine line with that. I don't know. Make like a
Make a YouTube video.
Yeah, make a video about it. Like if you have that passion and desire to share your joy and love of a game, that should come through when you make a video or do a little piece about it for sure, and then just spread it around. And I always say, even if like one person gets the game because you did that, like that is a success.
Yeah. You could you can print flyers.
Yeah.
Bad photocopies and staple them to
Yeah.
light posts.
Yeah. You could just buy the game for everybody. There you go.
But of course, what you could do is you could submit to a like-minded podcast where we'll get read
Yeah.
on the air.
It came out at a bad time for me.
Yeah, I think that's generally the story of Midnight
Yep.
Suns.
Yeah, it's my Chained Echoes thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's a game that I wanted to play on PC as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you were gone.
was gone for a good portion of that time,
Totally.
right after it came out. Let's play a game. All right. It's from Just10. Hi, allies. Happy 7-year anniversary. Pretend that to celebrate your anniversary, you all decide to take a well-earned holiday. All the allies, including Rufus, will be away for 6 months.
Wow.
Thank you. Very generous there.
Oh.
But fear not, while you're all vacationing, the goddess herself, Lightning, has agreed to run Easy Allies until you return.
Great.
She will need help with her task, though. You need to assemble new allies to take on various roles in the company while you're away. You'll decide between video game characters as to who will do different roles working for Easy Allies. I just want to point out that they have listed twice as many people as we have on staff.
All right.
So they clearly think we need some help. So who will assist Lightning as acting leader? Chris Redfield or female Commander Shepard? Who's going to be the co-leader?
Femshep, dude.
Fem Shep,
Forever.
yeah, for
Easiest
sure.
choice
Fem
ever.
Yeah, I think Chris too much baggage for that.
Yeah.
Punished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so is Shepard, but in a different way.
Depending on what
Yeah.
you do, I guess.
Yeah. Who will be the cute mascot to help bring in new viewers? Eevee or Munchie from Dragon Quest VIII? which in my head, I don't know
Munchie, dude,
who
the
Munchie
mouse.
is. But,
It's the little mouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say
Munchie.
Eevee, but
Munchie.
Yeah.
Munchie.
Ooh, I'm torn. I don't.
Tired of
I need to
Pokemon.
see.
None
I
of
need-
y'all
I
play
just-
Dragon Quest
Yeah,
8.
I need to see Munchie because I see Eevee and Eevee's
Little mouse,
adorable.
dude, feed him cheese.
Little mouse.
Eevee's
Kind of a
overplayed.
mohawk kind of
Yeah,
going on.
Munchie's sick. Munchie, send Munchie to do stuff, dude. Go run around.
True.
Breathe fire.
but Eevee can evolve. into
Eevee
many
can
different
evolve.
Who
things.
cares? Pokemon gets enough love. Eevee's not gonna have a hard time finding a job.
Yeah.
Munchie-
Get out of here, Eevee.
Law,
I'm struggling.
Around anymore.
I just realized we don't need those business cards anymore
Well,
for E3.
we'll need them.
Yeah.
We'll need them. I could have used them before I left the GDC, the most business cardy event of the year.
Yeah.
Who will be the community manager taking Gabby's place? Sans from Undertale or Sora from Kingdom Hearts?
Dude, Sora managing this community? OP,
yeah,
dude.
obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously,
That's
Sora.
good.
You know, Sora's got the fashion down. So, they're coming with that merch.
Yeah.
Who will cut the video footage, work the technology, and control the switchers? Ratchet and Clank or Gordon Freeman and Alex Vance?
Ooh, Ratchet and Clank would be fun.
Gordon Freeman and Alex are kind of like me and Don
I like that.
in a lot of ways.
Gordon won't talk at all, though.
Don doesn't talk
Kinda
much.
Don.
Don does talk off
He-
camera.
True.
Yeah.
Gordon, we haven't.
Don's chatty.
Yeah. Not at all.
Sure, yeah. That's fine. Gordon and Alex.
Yeah.
Who will stream games on Twitch? Guess the other guys don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Max and Chloe from Life is Strange or the Scout and the Heavy from Team Fortress 2?
Oh, dude.
be really good
It's
comedy.
the Scout and the Heavy without question.
Jolly.
Watching those streams.
That would be unhinged.
Who's hosting this podcast? Nathan Drake or Ooh La La from Space Channel 5? I gotta go
Space
for Ooh La
Channel,
La, I
wow.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
She's got a very host energy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she is a host. Getting
yeah,
that mic
yeah.
around.
I know.
Drake will just be like rolling out of bed or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Or he would keep missing podcasts to go after like doubloons or something.
Right. Who will fill in for Rufus doing the podcast jingle? Cass from Breath of the Wild on the accordion, or Amigo with the maracas
Oh,
from Samba de Amigo.
Ooh.
I'm
Cass.
Yeah.
going to
Yeah,
Cass.
Cass.
Yeah.
Giant parrot
Yeah.
man? Yeah. Giant bird man? Hell yeah.
Could you
Hearing him
imagine if we
playing
like
the-
actually had a physical person in here just to walk over and play the
A
accordion?
bard. Hire a bard.
Musical
Yeah,
guests. Yeah, new stage. have a music stage
Oh,
in the
I hope
studio.
Cass is in Tears of the Kingdom.
You confuse them.
Fuse the accordion to everything.
Cause yeah, man,
To your feet?
make musical instruments that way.
Who's taking Brad's spot? Hosting Frame Trap, Travis Touchdown, or Ryuji from Persona 5?
Oh, I'd do Travis. I think he'd be better.
Brad energy. Yeah.
Well, Travis is also like really into like
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah,
manga and
that's
games
true.
and all that.
Taku culture.
That's
yeah,
true.
super
Travis
into that
Touchdown.
Very
stuff.
true.
And he can like chop the table in half. That's pretty cool.
Dude, yeah.
I got chat says that you could fuse Cass's accordion to your horse's legs so that as it runs, it goes.
Gosh. It's cruel and unusual punishment. Who will host Fast and Loose? Juliet Starling from Lollipop Chainsaw or Bayonetta?
Bayonetta. Lollipop
Yeah,
Chainsaw is
Bayonetta.
garbage.
Oh,
It's one of my top 10 least favorite games ever made.
Wow.
Straight up
Wow.
bad game.
I hope you get that review a game you don't like, Jenga Block,
Yeah.
because that'll be a fun one. Who's hosting Mysterious Monsters, GLaDOS or Dante?
GLaDOS would be so
Yeah.
cool.
GLaDOS
Either
would
of
be
those
good.
would be great.
GLaDOS, yeah.
Yeah.
Class would just make you feel bad, so that'd be probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do we want writing reviews, Alan Wake or Harry Mason? from Silent Hill?
Alan Wake.
Yeah, probably.
The reviews
It's really
like-
scary.
The reviews come
Alan
to
Wake
life.
would be
Come to
funny,
life.
dude.
Insane.
Alan
Yeah.
Wake. All right, Alan Wake.
Well, that's
axe
weird
glistens.
because would that mean that like if his opinion of a game was a certain way, the game would adapt to match his opinion of it?
Yes.
Ooh.
Max power.
Wow,
That's wild.
It is.
It's too powerful.
it's crazy. Whose masculine voice will provide voiceover for the reviews? Geralt of Rivia or Arthur Morgan?
Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan.
Yeah, Arthur.
Arthur Morgan.
Pretty good. You're both pretty good.
Gotta give it to Arthur.
You. Oh wait, there's a third option, but I don't think we're going with it. Mario.
No.
No.
Oh!
No. No.
This is where your Oxford comments help you. Didn't see that. Lastly,
Frame rate gets a little bad in the big open areas.
and finally, who will be our brave adventurer, Dawn Romantica or Rex? Gotta go with Dawn.
Dawn Romantica.
Sure, yeah,
Dawn
Dawn
Romantica.
Dawn
Romantica.
Romantica, yeah.
Homegrown.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. If you're not
That
aware,
was fun.
That
Yeah.
was fun.
if you're not aware, there are 2 extra love and respect questions in this podcast to become a $5 member. So check that out. Patreon.com/EasyAllies. It's time for bets. This week's bet, I'm kind of going out on a limb because I haven't seen this game. Sometimes I get intel from early copies. Haven't seen it. We didn't jump into that beta like we should have. But Meet Your Maker comes out next Tuesday. This is from the makers of Dead by Daylight, and it has players making dungeons full of traps with other players trying to infiltrate those player-creator dungeons. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know what systems and filters and stuff there's going to be to find levels. But I'm hoping there's some kind of recommendation system, and we're going to look at the top recommended level and move forward through that level without attacking or jumping, and we're going to hug that right wall. How long will it take before we either die or hit a dead end where we can't keep going? Brad,
33 seconds.
33 seconds. Huber,
12 seconds.
Ooh.
12 seconds. Damiani,
7 seconds.
Yes!
7
I like
seconds.
that.
Real low.
7 minutes.
Spike
Ida,
trap.
22 seconds.
Dawn,
What's that say?
35.
35 seconds. We get the high so far.
wow. No, I've got the real high. 1 minute and 11 seconds.
Oh my god.
Ooh, blood.
Whoa, blood.
Let's
Relax.
see. I don't even know. I mean, again, there could be enemies there. There could be buzzsaws. There could be, some kind of treadmill into a
Could be a long
flame.
walkway.
Yeah. Could be a very long walkway to nothing. With the treasure chest there. Give you an easy win. Last week's bet, The Last of Us Part 1 came out on PC this week. It's a doozy.
Yeah, there's been some issues.
I was going to go through the the 10 most recent English reviews on OpenCritic, looking to find out how many times critics would use the word or the initialism HBO. Huber bet 3, Damiani bet 5, Isla bet 18,
Yeah.
Don bet 15, and Brad bet 7. Here's the rub. To my surprise, there are no English reviews of that PC version
Oh wow.
on OpenCritic or Metacritic.
Whoa.
By the way, that user score on Metacritic, though, that's sitting at a 2.3 right
Yeah.
now.
It's not.
OpenCritic does list one Portuguese review from Eurogamer that uses HBO twice.
See, my metric was right then.
So technically it doesn't count, but whether you go with 0 or 2, the point goes to the lowest bet, which was from Huber. Bet 3.
Nice job, dude.
Bringing our
Nice.
scores to Garrulous Ducks 8 Quack, 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 quack. And Sleepy Grizzlies 4.
Sound like a fucking coyote.
Just woke up,
like
dude. You
a
got scared.
Freaking little dog yipping right
It was a bear
there.
cub. It was a bear cub,
Yeah.
probably.
Let me tell you about patreon.com/EasyAllies. As mentioned a couple of times earlier, since this is the EasyX, we brought it up already, but we are funded by our viewers, by our listeners. So if you enjoy what you've got here, consider what that's worth to you on a monthly basis and check out Patreon. That is the lifeblood of everything that keeps this operation running, pays the taxes, buys the toilet paper, gets us water, gets the internet through those pipes, all the good stuff. On Patreon, you get all kinds of different rewards, and particularly at that $5 tier, you get this podcast fully formed 2 days early. You get it ad-free. You get it with those 2 bonus Love and Respect questions. You get to submit to Love and Respect and ask us those questions, or maybe even, get a shout out to Midnight Suns, whatever there. And you get access to our Discord, where, as we said, there's a wrestling group in there talking about wrestling, people posting food pictures. We hop in there now and then. News tips pop in there, and people discuss the news as it's happening right away. All kinds of fun things in there. And we got a donation check in right now, too, though, from EasyX. We got a $25 donation from Triple H's Biker Shorts. And we got $100. Thank you very much.
you
From
so much.
Sumo Moeni.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if for any reason Patreon doesn't work out, that link down there to the one-time donations is always in the description on YouTube and in the below the player window on Twitch. But we also have the Platinum producers who get shout-outs on this podcast, as well as Frame Trap and Reaction Shots. And the shout-outs this month go to Jabba-Wabs, which I've been saying wrong for a while.
Jabba-Wabs.
Jabba-Wabs.
Jabba Webs.
El Thanis, Craig, the Dark Knight Kettering, Raymond Wheeler III, Zio VGM, and Ghost Samurai. Shout out.
Shout out.
Huber,
Yo.
you won that bet. So you get to promote any video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped in your head. You get to sign off with that trademark sign off.
Video will be El Paso Elsewhere
Nice.
preview, because that game looks sick as shit, and it is one of my
Hell
most
yeah.
anticipated games of the year now. Check it out. Blood got to see it, and we and Isla talked about it. So check it out.
Wait, what just happened?
Blood's
Are you
popping.
popping pills, dude?
Painkillers.
Those
dude.
is like-
Absolute painkillers.
Those is Tic
El
Tacs.
Paso Elsewhere. Yeah,
Okay.
this is their swag.
Just for the audio listeners.
But they are Tic Tacs, yeah. But yeah, it has painkillers.
I want to reiterate, Lollipop Chainsaw is a bad video game. And we will see you right after this. So don't go anywhere, right? Are we streaming more, right?
That's
after?
up to you.
For the live audience, that's true. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
So, actually, final word. Thank you, everyone, for supporting us for so long, so many years now, 7 years strong. This is EasyX. We still have one more day to go tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, so much. Even if you haven't even donated, if you've just been hanging out and sharing the love of Easy Allies, that really helps us emotionally and financially as well for all the donators out there. So, thank you again so much. Love and respect.
Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yeah.
That's Shulk? Okay.
Shulk? What?
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Jabba-Wabs, L. Thanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Raymond Wheeler III, Zio VGM, Alexander Zirianov, Bradley Spees, Forever Ender, Jay Shee, Jesper Popmel Dufay, Mellow Fellow, Rob Bob Will, Roy Sung, Stomps, 44 Stars, Anacroth, Andreas Risberg, Andre, Aurelien Grenier, Beaten Down Brian, Benjamin Arp, Brandon White, Brian Kruger, Colton Piccione, Daniel Martinek, Dave Red, DBA, Dimitri Zetas, Discarded Digit, Douglas Chomich, DRD 7 of 14, Edward Gonzalez, Faraz Rizvi, Garrett Holfish, G. Levin, Hayden Hargraves, Happy Gaming, Hesperus 84, Isaac Swanson, Jesse Blue, Jesus R., Joey Bruno, Chris Frederick, Kroldemort, Lath, Mango, Matthew Holcomb, Matthew Pauling, Miguel, Miguel Rivas, Mo Grant, Mr. One Luigi, Nathan Watkins, Paul Sway, Pete Shoemaker, Ronka Q, Raylon, Ritz 1906, Robert Stoffel, Sage Mode Q, Sam Handrick, Samsa Stormbaum, Sigma, S Snake 24, Stepan Hakobian, The Banana Forklift Killer, Chum Nguyen, Zigazich, Anish Dorr, Aaron Haney, Accounts Payable, Adam Henry, Alex McMillan, Alex Monaco, Alex AI, Alexander Irving, Alexander Sheck, Andrew Reif, Anthony F., Anthony Galvin, Anthrioni, Antonio Coyne, Arthur Lau, Osteel, Austin, Barry Tomasini, Benjamin Miller, Blue, Bob Starling, Brian Foster, Bryce Hornsby, Bunny Chen, Byron Black, C.S. Lewis, Katie Garza, Caleb Edwards, Carlos Delgado, Chief Uhu, Chris Eccles, Christopher Semniak, Christopher Santis, Clay Roberts, Colin Montot, Connell Sumlin, Corey Jackson, Corey Landega, Crumb Eyes, Culinary Stud, Cyberboa, Dan Sebring, Dan Kozlowski, Daniel Wong, Dark Archer SC, Davy Cakes, David Aniki, David Wilson, Delisi, DF, Diogo, DXB Lord, Edison S. Prada Jr., Enya Hink, Eric Crone, Eric Tobias, Espen Gotchman, Ethereal Ether, Felipe Barbosa, Fishflop, Forrest, Froject, Gabriel Aberg, Gabriel Smith, Jen Cruz, Ghost Samurai, Glenn Olson, Graham, Gustav Strombaum, Hadi Ali, Helen Y, Hitman 47, I Sun Chor, Ian Anderson, Isaiah Matthews, Ivan Swade, Jack Cullen, Jack Forrest, Jack Grossman, Jay Aldiar, Jameson Lapine, Jan Nicholas Frogshirt Tealk, JC3, Gerald, Jeremy Ferris, Jesse Fish, Jesse Wilkeson, Joey Din, John Gallagher, John McCullough, Jonathan Gonzalez, Jordan Phillips, Jose Gutierrez, Junya Motomura, Carl Williams, Keegan Boyle, Kevin Gillet, Kiraz, Leon Keys, Linson Wu, Lister, Luis Ibarra, Lion Crown 19, Marco Hernandez, Materia Addict, Matthias Clare, Matt Karwoski, Matthew T. Ryan, Max Miller, Mazrim Tame, Megadet, Michael Clendenan, Mike Zero, Mikey Mizek Novak, Mr. Anarchy, Mr. Madity, Nefertiti Jenkins, Nero, Nicholas Johnson, Nycrypt, Nikhil Sharma, Ninja Kitty Meow, Ono Turtle, Orugachino, Pablo Rodriguez, Patrick Held, Pixelated, Pojo TMC, RF Switch, Rainmaker, Reed Johnson, Richard Ma, Richard Tappan, Robert J. Williamson, Robert Seven Lee, Robin, Salvers, Sam Sorensen, Samuel Copeland, Sean Eisenhower, Sean Pavlov, Sebastian Trier, Sean D. Baxter, Shauna Bowman, Simon Anderson, Cito, Sneaky Gato, Splontot, Steps, Stone Soup VT, Strikeout NZ, Sultab, Taffy 9K, T-Beaks 15, the murderous pangolin who secretly lives in your sock drawer, Tim Strothman, Tim O'Keefe, TJ Sullivan, Toad Shadow, Tokyo Slim, Tomovi Kioni, Tony Tarantino, Travis Ing, Trevor Thomas, Trizac, V8 Dave, Willow Pingree, Wouter DeHaze, WF Master Mike, Zach, Yami Zetsume, Zach Hardy, Zach Wojnar.